animals beastly? All of us know following argument. Look at the animal life on earth, in nature, as being created by God or similar. The strongest devours the weaker ones. The clever spider betrays the gracious daffodil, whereas the hungry shark hunts for the smaller tuna fish, itself having the belly full of catched young pike perch. And nowhere in the north lives one ice bear which don't have seagulls on its menu. Seagulls, themselves well-known predators of tons of cod. This is the course of animal life in its cruel reality. So why should things be different with men and women? Giving a durable answer to such unwisdom is very difficult, especially among people who barely believe in the outer reflectances of creature, overlooking that all life forms are only the hardened appearance of an inner soul. Souls and such etherics we cannot taste nor smell, yet being aware that they exist is possible. For instance, how can it be that two different human siblings from identical twins don't generate the same character? Aren't they the products of one and the same genes and outer social circumstances? Albert Einstein and his quantum colleagues often mention it in their explanations, the soul animation of beings, which was not always in the flavorous line of the many rather narrow-gauged scientists. Once upon a time, one of them might have teeth. For him, it's impossible to believe, let alone prove, from his sane common sense, that something exists which he cannot see, touch, nor scent. Thereupon Einstein, please, dear colleague, show me and lay down on the table your human common sense, please. Yes, it also belongs to the soul. What is the soul? The soul, she is hanging in the middle of the Sephiroth. See picture above. Between spirit and third dimension flesh. It's a product along our adventure, along our journey, down and up again, away from the light and back to the light. Soul in Latin is called anima. Sounds a bit like animals. Soul beings, yes, filled up with what we all know is thriving in our own souls from the beginning till the end of our lives, from suffering to elation. Those corpuscles that in all beginnings manifested as a start of the humanity project, they did not pop up as hardened bones and slubby flesh that we drag around with ourselves nowadays. No, they seemed more like millions of little etheric particles which were so bold to dare to descend as clusters in the unknown field of gravity. That colored society of particles possibly looked like some sort of a giant flexible balloon, planing over the ancient oceans, finally inclined towards the sun, yes, but still reluctant. And once the total construction got a bit too heavy, I borrowed the image from Steiner, Hauschka and Lorber. With a growing risk of plummeting down in the ocean, then ballast was thrown off. And to cope with the particles' problem of amassing weight and being cut back from development flows, the reins of animals were created to catch all that overload, all that greed, that arrogance, fear, hate, impatience, and whatever excess and evil I forgot to mention. Their purpose, to lead back into reason those lunging, lingering substances over longer periods, perhaps immense eras. To moderate, to enlighten, to cleanse. This process is working even today, despite hard, dull bones. What remained after the purge was reintegrated, possibly in the big bubble balloon, possibly directly in the soul of a newborn child, blessed with an alert and perceiving character, prepared for it by a whole tribe of eagles. That such reflections are better than the result of too much unleashed imagination cannot be proved, of course. Yet, a gleam of an eloquent similarity in that direction gives us the aspect of parts of the animal body, which so oft show exaggerated features in comparison to the human body. For instance, too fierce the jaws, too long a mouth, a beak, a spout, too big those ears, disproportionate the neck, etc., etc. About these kinds of evolutions and appearances, the books of Jacob Lorber present a lot of astonishing details. A pity that the wording for our modern ears sounds a bit archaic and cumbersome, and that, of course, parts may have been falsified, which is always a risk as it concerns a written down source. That duty of purifying global human vice still into its utmost manifestations is not being fulfilled by the animals without a sort of a plan. It happens within a narrow grid. The cruelty, for instance, is not a part of the animal soul essence, not at all. It's a burden they took over, as if they had to learn to get on with it, like a skill to be learned. Not at all belonging to the inner core of the character of the animal, and nowhere in the steppes of Asia, of Africa, you will find a puma that hunts and kills light-footed gazelles with proper feelings of hate or anger or wrath or brutality. All that, it's only stowed in its luggage, taken away from the humans, helping them in a marvelous way. The animals are the sole Sherpas of our human creation. Sherpas. And among all the living beings on our planet, it is they who are perhaps the most faithful in fulfilling their indicated task. They even agreed to be eaten by us. Considering those entanglements and connections, it's difficult to look at the animals in the same way as before, and the feeling of gratitude is growing inside. Against that backdrop, today's torture on animals, either in abattoirs, transport or poultry cages, appears like a terrible crime which has to be stopped immediately. Such a pity that the dolphins, a special case among the animal creatures, cannot write books or edit articles. Viewed from the inside, they would probably be able to get us ashamed to death. However, sooner or later, that shame will fall upon our feet, our plump and dumb, goofy Homo sapiens feet, even without that dolphin's special contribution. Conclusion. Are animals beastly? Answer: never. Can humans be called beastly? Sure, if they don't respect at some moments in their lives what the animals prepared for the feasible development of the human soul.
If you hold your heads over your catching eyes, that the world keeps spinning round its axle, who's surprised? And on the other hand, that axis may seem lifted with better eyes and better feelings, why not upstream drifted? Somehow like the lark escaping from the dark, in spirals upward bound, wondering still what kind of overkill's to be found. Somehow the lark alike, releasing of his flight, in bringing down the light. If you go to school because you want to learn, and the lessons and the purpose seem be worth enough, then you feel like a fool, and your heart endeavors to love and hug that old blind bank forever. Hey teacher, don't you see your classroom is a mall? These cutes, they said it all. Even the chalk to write with on the blackboard on the wall. Your listeners lay so low, a teacher make them grow. And let your listeners go. Somehow I like the lark escaping from the dark, disappearing in the light for a never-ending